Hi everyone, welcome to Codedor. So we have been following the Coder Army sheet and we are solving the hashing problems. Today we'll be solving the longest consecutive subsequence. Let us now read the problem. Given an array of positive integers, find the length of the longest subsequence such that the elements in the subsequences are consecutive integers. All right. So basically, we have been given an array of integers and we have to find the length of the longest subsequence. So a subsequence should not necessarily has to be continuous, but it should follow the same order as your array, and you have to return the length of the longest subsequence which contains all the consecutive integers. Okay, so what are some of the examples of consecutive integer? For example, you have 1 2 3 4, or let's say 5 6 7. All right. So the first test case is, for example, we have been given an array 2 6 1 9 4 5 3, right? So how is the output 6? Because this array contains the elements, the consecutive elements, or the longest length of consecutive elements is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay. In the second example, we have this array, and again the output is 4 because the length of the longest subsequences elements would be 1 2 3 4. So this array contains 1 2 3 4, and since these elements are consecutive in nature, we consider this to be an answer. All right, so what is the intuition that we get? So first of all, this question is related to the frequency of elements, right? Because at every point we need to check. For example, if I have an element n, so what can be the consecutive elements to this particular n? That can be n plus 1 or n minus 1, right? So like this I can find the consecutive elements. So what I can do probably is have a map. All right, and inside my map I can store the frequency of each element. Okay, I can just store the frequency of each element, and at every step I can run a loop, and at every step what I can do is I can take the current element, that is my current element, and check the longest sequence this current element makes. Okay, and how will I check the longest sequence? Is I will keep increasing my current value by 1. So how do you get the consecutive elements? First of all, if you have a current element as cur, so what will be the next element to it? Cur plus 1, cur plus 2, like that, right? So how will you find the longest subsequence, or the length of the subsequence? Is by just increment the value of the current integer and check if it is present in my array. And how will you do that? With the help of map. So we have already stored the frequencies which will tell us if that particular element is occurring inside my array or not. And probably after each iteration I can just check and store uh, the max length as my answer. Okay. All right, so I'll be quickly showing you the code. All right, so this is the code, guys. So we have a map, and we are storing all the elements inside our map, and we have an answer variable that is maxi. So at every point what I'm doing is I'm storing the current element in my cur, and obviously if we are having one element at least, so the count of the longest subsequence would be 1 because we are considering the current element. And we will iterate through our map, or basically we will check if the current element plus 1, that is the next element to it, is present in my map or not. If it is, I can just do count plus plus, and again current element would be incremented so that I can check for further consecutive elements. And after each iteration I can check the maximum length in my maxi. I can store it and return maxi. Okay, thank you.